Hello, you're watching Initiative Africa. My name is Asha Sampath. Welcome to your weekly magazine featuring Africa on the move through smart innovations and initiatives that work. Today we turn our attention to Senegal and its reforms in the mining sector. But first, here are the main highlights on our show. He is one of those senior officials who are shaping the Africa of tomorrow in a sector that is making a lot of noise and contributing to the growth of the continent, the mining sector, and precisely his country, Senegal, which doesn't lack ideas when it comes to reforming it. Our guest today is Professor Ibrahima Diallo, Chief of Staff of the Minister of Mines and Geology of Senegal.
Since
2014, Senegal has implemented the Emerging Senegal Plan, a medium and long-term plan until 2035 with a new vision.
Avec une vision nouvelle.
A Togolese musical collective decides to conquer an audience of fans in Europe. Spotlight on the All Togo Stars group.
Togo All Stars, un collectif.
Togo All Stars is a collective of Togolese musicians who have tried to make Afrobeat, highlife, Afro-funk based on traditional music from Togo.
We meet a tribe of snake hunters, the Kairas, in Guinea. With them, the tradition of saving lives of those threatened by reptiles has survived for generations.
It's an evil snake. The whole population was terrified. If we didn't catch this snake, it would have moved from neighborhood to neighborhood.
They emerged from the shadows in 2017 in Togo, halfway between Ghana, the birthplace of highlife music, and Nigeria, where Afrobeat was born. This collective of 10 musicians drew on all these influences, even adding inspiration from traditional African sounds and voodoo to achieve a very special fusion. However, the Togo All Stars, that's their name, are losing momentum in Africa, so they didn't hesitate to cross borders and export themselves to the European stages, with concerts next year in Belgium and the Netherlands. Our correspondent in Lomé, Parfait Agboste, followed them on their tour. Take a look. A stroke of luck, a group synergy, or a clear desire on the part of everyone involved. In any case, they have managed to do it to set the stages of Europe on fire. Since then, they've been touring Europe, Maastricht, Bristol, Glasgow, Manchester, Brussels, Utrecht, Rotterdam. On the iconic European scene, Celtic Connections in Glasgow in England, Couleur Café in Belgium, and North Sea Jazz, Down the Rabbit Hole, Lowlands, and the Dutch stages.
Togo All Stars, un collectif.
Togo All Stars is a collective of Togolese musicians who have tried to make Afrobeat, highlife, Afro-funk based on traditional music from Togo, especially from the south. Kinka, Gahon, Kamu, Akbese, and others are this music coming together.
And already 2 albums and a third ready to be released. Discovered by a stroke of fate while doing its cultural promotion, here is the man to whom the group owes its emergence.
I discovered the group All Stars a few years ago, a group of 10 Togolese musicians with percussion instruments from the Vaudon convent. So I was really impressed, and I thought, why not get involved with this group to really give our music a Togolese identity and export it to the whole world.
Here we are at DB Studio in Utrecht, Holland, where the band have come to rehearse an unscheduled show that they don't want to miss. It's a last-minute request. The legacy of their growing success on the European musical scene.
We invited the Togo All Stars mainly because of their music. Because this music has a spiritual base connected to home. Easy, actually.
The group has evolved a lot since 2017. We've done tour after tour. We were lucky enough to go to Europe, where we played in the Netherlands, Belgium, France, England. The group is currently very well known outside, and the public loves our music because our music is not just lively to dance, but with themes that speak to everyone.
Right now, he's in the middle of a musical exhibition at the Oude Kerk, or rather, Old Church, one of the oldest buildings and the oldest church in Holland, with foundations dating back to the 1300s, now transformed into an art museum with contemporary exhibitions.
I've just seen the Togolese in the Oude Kerk in Amsterdam. It was really good, great. I already know the group from all-day concerts. Every time I see them, I'm free and want to dance. Even if I'm tired, well, I'm not tired anymore. Now at the church, it was a bit different. It's not like a concert hall, but for me, it's the magic between the two religions, the African and the church. I don't know whether to say Catholic or Christian. The audience was enthusiastic, really delighted. Everyone was wowed. That was good.
I joined the concert today of the Togolese, and it was very beautiful to have the special beats, sounds in this church, this old church, very old church from the 12th century. So it's really special to feel this music, this also old music from Africa.
I want Togo All-Stars to tour the world. Because I'm quite sure that the music is universal. Music for everyone to listen and to feel it.
Let's hope that luck keeps coming their way in Africa too, and that their adventures continue to be as successful as ever. As I mentioned earlier, our guest, Professor Ibrahima Diallo, is one of the senior African officials at the heart of the reform of the continent's mining sector. In his country, mines constitute an important foundation of the emerging Senegal Plan, the policy put in place by President Macky Sall. Professor Ibrahima Diallo talked to Laurent Soustras about the priorities of his Ministry of Mines and Geology. Let's listen to him.
Ibrahima Diallo,
hello and welcome to Initiative Africa. Senegal has deployed the emerging Senegal Plan, absolutely vital for the mining sector. Could you shed some light?
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much. As you mentioned, since 2014, Senegal has implemented the Emerging Senegal Plan, a medium and long-term plan until 2035 with a new vision. This vision aims to make Senegal emerge by 2035 as a solidarity-based society under the rule of law. This is crucial. In this plan, the mining sector is one of the 6 priority sectors. The mining sector encompasses 6 flagship projects. Firstly, phosphate. Senegal aims to become one of the top 3 African phosphate exporters by 2035. The second project concerns gold. Senegal aspires to be among the top 7 gold producers by 2035. We also have, and here we are talking about critical minerals, significant zircon deposits. Thus, Senegal has started to exploit zircon, which constitutes our third project. The fourth project concerns the iron deposits, very important in Senegal, but yet to be exploited. Therefore, we have considered reserves, and you know the role steel can play in these critical minerals. This represents our fourth priority.
Et nous avons également la promotion et l'encadrement des mines.
We also promote and supervise artisanal mining as significant activities takes place in this sector. If we do not take care, we might miss out on many opportunities. These projects are of paramount importance.
C'est des projets très, très importants.
Vous avez assisté au sommet des minéraux.
You attended the Critical Minerals Summit organized by the International Energy Agency in September in Paris. What is Senegal's position on these essential minerals for the energy transition?
Les minéraux critiques, compte tenu vraiment de
Critical minerals, given the issue at stake and the challenges facing Africa in terms of solar energy, wind power, etc.
éolienne, etc. Donc, le Sénégal se positionne.
Senegal is already positioning itself to meet the challenges of tomorrow. Senegal already has research permits for microgas, manganese, and significant indications for cobalt, copper, and other minerals.
Sur le cobalt, le cuivre, etc. D'ailleurs,
today, we have granted Senegal 2 small mines. Small mines are at most 500 hectares, but already for lithium and manganese. In addition to the large zircon deposits, Senegal has started to manage these critical minerals, but it's an economy that needs to be shared with spin-offs for Senegal's value chain.
And is this message of mutuality and sharing making headway in the global economy?
Today, it's clear that Senegal cannot marginalize itself. When we talk about critical minerals, we are talking about solar energy. We know that in Senegal, with the energy problems we have, we are talking about wind energy. We're talking about the car industry. We are even talking about defense and security strategy in the context of terrorism and so on. And Senegal as a whole really can't afford to be on the sidelines when it comes to issues we are discussing today. And it became clear today that if we are to meet these challenges of the future, we need a win-win approach based on political dialogues so that we can effectively meet these global challenges. Because it's clear that if we want to decarbonize, we are going to have to look for critical minerals.
Les minéraux critiques. Presque plus de 50% de ces ressources.
Nearly 50% of these critical minerals are to be found on the African continent, so where we can tackle these issues thanks to Africa.
Et vraiment, c'est un plaisir pour nous, le Sénégal.
And it's a pleasure for us, Senegal, to take things in our hands by sitting at the table. Still, in this not-too-distant future, we need to get African countries more involved so that there's an inclusive, multi-party, sincere dialogue with a responsible approach so that Africa can be part of the discussion. Additionally, Africa can really benefit from the research and the emerging perspectives.
It's a major issue given the criticism in Africa when it comes to the mining contracts negotiated in the past. Is this debate about a better balance of profits in favor of Africa already on the agenda?
We need to address this debate, and if we don't, the investment will be jeopardized with uprisings and protests from the local population. It's really in the interest of the investor, the local people and the state to set out the terms of the contract and explain them so that there is a win-win situation. If we want mining to be sustainable and benefit everyone, by that I mean the investor, the state, and also the local populations.
Je veux dire l'investisseur, l'État, mais aussi les populations locales.
Welcome to the second part of our show. At the heart of Guinea, in Farana, an African tradition well guarded by a family survives. The Kairas are a tribe of snake hunters trained for generations to save lives by treating victims of bites from these fearsome reptiles. They are now touring the country, caring for patients and catching snakes. Our correspondent Sayon Koroma followed them to Kobikoro, a village where a snake was terrorizing the inhabitants. Take a look.
It is a house of horror. Kaba, its owner, is one of the most desperate persons in Farana. In just 1 week, a deadly snake caused panic in this compound, killing 3 family members. The tenant's wife, grandson, and his only son, aged 14, have all succumbed to the reptile's deadly venom. It was a week of living dangerously for the inhabitants. Part of Farana was almost deserted, as the locals fled the danger posed by the poisonous snake.
It's an evil snake. The whole population was terrified. If we didn't catch this snake, it would have moved from neighborhood to neighborhood.
In the event, it was due to the Kairas tribe from the village of Tambaya, 80 kilometers away, that the snake was captured in time-honored fashion, and its fate sealed in typical Kairas manner.
When we catch the snake, we put it in a sacred water. We rub it, then it dies on its own.
This is by no means an isolated case. Every year in Farana and nearby towns, the Kairas cast their spell over hundreds of the deadly reptiles. The tribe calls itself the Masters of Snakes. They are expert hunters and use their bare hands to capture the reptiles. It's a profession that has made the Kairas national celebrities, not just by catching snakes, but also by their ability to treat the reptiles' bites. The cure is a jealously guarded family secret dating back thousands of years.
I've been doing this for 60 years. I can't even work in the fields. Whenever I go there to work, I get a call that people have come because of snake bites. You've seen all those injured by snake bites. My job is to treat them.
Without needing to search for the reptiles, the seemingly natural ability to flush out the most dangerous snakes would seem to be a gift from above, helping save lives in Guinea and the sub-region. The father of 26 offspring shows off his collection of correspondence from all over the world.
Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, and Mali. I served in all these countries. Here is a request from Sierra Leone. This is their stamp. I have traveled to all these countries in the same capacity. Today, I'm finally close to retirement.
He says he's tired now and leaves it to his children to take over. Members of the tribe pass on the knowledge from one generation to the next in this area that has the highest number of snakebite deaths in the country. But Kaira claims 24,000 lives have been saved. And the techniques taught are used to good effect in treating snake bites. This group are all victims of the reptiles. Among them is a 12-year-old girl who showed up in the village still suffering from the effects of a snake bite 8 years earlier.
Before, my daughter's wound was worse than this. The wound came up to here. But since I'm here, thank God. Otherwise, my daughter was completely deformed, and even these bones were becoming increasingly apparent. But now it's fine.
It's those who cannot afford to go to hospital that find salvation among the Kairas. Al-Hassan is the second oldest son of the tribe, in charge of extracting the snake's fangs. His patient today is a 4-year-old boy. But first, the Kairas' secret incantations must be performed. Only then will Al-Hassan gently remove the reptile's fangs with a magic cotton.
These are snake hooks that I have in my hand, and these healers don't ask us for millions or motorbikes. Nothing at all. You give what you can.
Alassane will treat the boy with a paste of medicinal plants ground down using a pestle and mortar. The treatment can also be used by farmers who risk being bitten in their fields.
In case of a snake bite, you give this decoction to the victims. If you are doubting, you put this medicine into water, then you throw it a little bit over here and over there. The snake will not come to that spot anymore, thanks to this medicine.
Once the reptiles have been made safe, they are kept in these boxes. The manner of extracting the cure from plants is a real revolution in traditional medicine and is now saving lives. And through their ancestral profession, the Kairos have also been able to make a living.
And we're back with our guest Ibrahima Diallo to address the delicate question of gold mines and small-scale gold mining. Can the solutions implemented in Senegal inspire Africa? Let's hear what he has to say. Now let's talk about the artisanal gold sector. Is the solution being tested in Senegal, I mean of grouping these artisanal miners into cooperatives or economic interest groups? Is this a viable solution, not just for Senegal, but for the whole African continent?
Oh
yes, it's an essential solution because let's not forget that in Senegal, in the management of the mining sector, there wasn't from an institution point of view a department that dealt with these issues. But in the last 2 or 3 years, the Senegalese government has put in place a new strategy at the national level with the creation for the first time of a specific department to deal with the supervision and promotion of artisanal mining, given the stakes involved. So there you have it. Today, if you look at Senegal, according to statistics that are a bit old though, about 4 or even 5 tons are being mined by this subsector. But there's no traceability and it crosses Mali's borders on its way to Dubai. So there are no spin-offs at the time when, paradoxically, dwellers in Senegal are seeking gold for their trade.
Raison pour laquelle il est mis en place cette direction.
This is why we have set up the Supervision and Promotion Department, which will not only identify the players, we even have a project to set up a structure to support farmers in southeastern region of Senegal, Kédougou, with appropriate technologies.
Effectivement, les exploitants au niveau de la région sud-est du Sénégal, Kédougou.
All this is to ensure that we do not lose the traceability of gold.
And that's going to cut off the traffickers.
Yes, that's right. So on the one hand, there's this Supervision and Promotion Department with equipment and experimental center to support collection. We are in the thinking process of setting up a fund to support these operators gold at the local levels.
Pour accompagner effectivement ces exploitants donc de l'or au niveau local. Et tout ceci va nous permettre.
All these will enable us not only to control, identify and know who is mining, because in these areas there are a lot of foreigners. There are several nationalities: Senegalese, Burkinabes, etc., Malians, Guineans, and so on. We have to be very, very careful to control the flow. And then, at the same time, as I said earlier, we will set up a Comptoir National, a limited company called Société Anonyme de Commercialisation de l'Or du Sénégal, that is Senegal Gold Marketing Company, and there will be a bridge between these local operators and Comptoir National. So all this is to ensure that in the long term, not only will we be able to control the flow and know the actual contribution of these operators at the local level, but we will also be able to provide Senegalese dwellers with gold that they can work with for the Senegalese people and avoid the gold passing through borders and neighboring countries.
Et d'éviter que l'or transite par effectivement les frontières et par les pays voisins.
Are you concerned about the impact that security incidents on the Senegalese-Malian border could have on the gold panning sector?
Bon, pour le moment,
for the moment, in terms of security, the Senegalese government has done a great deal of work, and there are no particular problems. In terms of water safety, there have been problems with the pollution of Falame River, but it depends on the ODSR. ODSR is the Organization for Development of the Senegal River with Mali, Mauritania, Guinea, and Senegal. So ODSR is working with the ministry. We will work with the Ministry of Mines and the Ministry of Environment to find a solution, because it is inconceivable that one of the Senegal River's most important tributaries, the Faleme, is being polluted.
L'un des affluents les plus importants du fleuve Sénégal, qui est la Faleme.
We know that the emerging Senegal plan also includes the idea of a regional mining hub with logistics services, training and a mineral port. These projects will probably require a great deal of regional cooperation.
Bon, pour le moment, je sais que
at the moment, I know that we are working with structure attached to the presidency on these issues of making Senegal a mining hub and a service hub in terms of laboratories, because today there's no certified laboratory worthy of the name. The gold is refined outside Senegal, in Switzerland or other countries, with other foreign laboratories.
Du Sénégal, en Suisse ou dans les autres pays, etc., avec d'autres laboratoires étrangers. Le Sénégal veut effectivement se positionner pour être...
Senegal wants to position itself as a competitive mining hub. From an academic point of view, as you said, we have a significant project with the World Bank. However, the project has not yet reached maturity and is worth around 60 billion euros. From this perspective, the mining sector does indeed occupy a central place, especially the geological knowledge aspect, and this is true for the issues of certification and laboratories which still need to be created in Senegal.
Laboratoire, tout ça qui n'existe pas encore au Sénégal.
Ibrahima Diallo, thank you very much for your time.
Merci, je vous remercie.
Well, that's it. Initiative Africa is over for today. You can find the interview with Ibrahima Diallo as well as our programs on our website, africaonair.com. And of course, feel free to follow us on our social media channels and to share, like, and comment using the hashtag Initiative Africa. And don't forget to tune in next week, same time, same channel, for a new episode of Business Africa. Have a great week, and until next time, goodbye.